What's going on, guys? I am back. I know I said I was going to start making YouTube videos, and then all of a sudden, 3 years passes just like that. I'm in a new city, I'm in a new state, I'm in a new place. I've got a new dog. Her name's Olive. She's very cute. And I've got a new job. I'm now working as a nurse, which I will get around to. But anyways, I wanted to make this video real quick talking about whether or not you should go to paramedic school um, and become a paramedic, and some of the pros and cons, and kind of just my experience of it. And because I always think it helps to kind of just get someone else's um, input, their perspective before jumping straight into things. I don't think I watched that many reviews about becoming a medic. I'm sure I talked to some medics before like going to school to become one, but maybe you guys will find this helpful. And real quick, I know the other two videos I made about the NREMT, psychomotor, and cognitive, I've been told that I've known this for a little bit, but they did away with the psychomotor, which is interesting. So I guess that video is maybe it needs to be in the archives, no longer needed. But if it helped anyone, great. Hopefully this video will help anyone deciding whether to become a medic or not. So I worked as a medic for probably like little over 3 years, I guess it was. And I worked rural EMS. I worked at the place I actually did my ride-alongs at. They offered me a job. Side note, wherever you're doing any sort of ride-along or clinical for whatever profession you were trying to get into, always be very nice, very respectful, because you never know what opportunities are around the corner. So anyways, there's Olive back there. Should you become a medic? Yes and no. It depends for, I guess, what reason. If it's something you're very passionate about, then obviously go ahead and chase your dreams. Being a medic was very fun. And I'll get around to kind of comparing it to nursing, maybe if I have time at the end of this video. But so originally I wanted to go through nursing school. I went through EMT school with the plan that I would go to nursing afterward. I just didn't want to jump into nursing school with zero like healthcare knowledge, I guess you could say. And EMT is a great starter for whatever route you take your healthcare career, or just any career. I feel like EMT school is it's great. It's quick. It's not overly difficult. You learn the basics. But anyways, I was going through EMT school with the plan of going to nursing school after. And then like halfway through EMT school, I was like, you know what? No, I want to be a medic. Because I saw like what the medic was in the scope of practice and what they kind of got to do. And I thought it was really neat. So I'm like, I'm just going to be a medic and then become a firefighter. Because back in St. Louis, I'm from St. Louis, Missouri, the county fire departments, so not like the city, but the counties like that surround the city, inner city, they require you to have your medic license. I'm sure it's like that in some other parts of the country, but that's how it was in St. Louis. And I figured, okay, if I'm going to get on at one of these county jobs, a fire medic job, which pays pretty well, I need to get my medic license. So there I was going through medic school. And then at some point, maybe it was during clinicals, I realized I liked the medicine side more of emergency first response. Like, yeah, it would have been neat to be a fire medic, but I kind of started having a passion for like just everything medical. So I kind of did away with the idea of becoming a firefighter and just stuck with working on an ALS truck in a rural county, and it was great experience. Now, am I glad I did it that way? Like, am I glad I took all of the steps that I did? Yes, because where I'm at now, even though I'm not working in fire or working in EMS, I'm not working as a nurse in the hospital, and I couldn't be more glad that I have my medic experience. It made nursing school, I wouldn't say a breeze. I did exceptionally well, but I still had to study, and it was still stressful at times. Uh, so, anyways, what I'm trying to get at is if you want to work in healthcare, but you're not sure what job you want to work in, at a minimum, going through EMT school is a great step because you can do that after high school. You can do it while you're taking classes for undergrad, those science electives, and you can start getting patient contact hours. So some of the guys that I worked with, like I had a buddy, his name was Ben, real smart guy. He was my partner. He was an EMT. I was the medic, and his plan was either med school or PA school. He's actually finishing up PA school now. So he didn't go on to be a medic, but being an EMT, it gave him, like, he had the contact hours that he needed for the application process to become a physician assistant. And he just had good experience, especially like within the emergency setting. I know it's pre-hospital, but it gave him great experience, a good kind of knowledge foundation, especially for emergency stuff. But then, if you want to take it a step further and go on to medic, which is like probably a year and a half more of school, depending on the program. My EMT school was like 5 months. My medic school was like, it was supposed to be a year, but it ended up being closer to 2 because it was back during COVID and clinicals got pushed back and everything. But at the end of the day, becoming a medic was a great idea or plan or route, I guess you could say, for me and for where I'm at. And like I said, it made nursing much easier. And nursing, by no means is easy, the schooling or the job. But having that experience as a medic made it a lot less stressful. What else? The pay. So, yeah, it's not all about money. I always kind of go with the philosophy that you should do something that you enjoy. And I do believe that because most people have to work. Like, that's just the reality. Most of us have to work, get money to live and survive and feed family if you have one. I don't. I have a dog, but even she can be expensive. So money, it is important. And I made okay money as a medic. I'll be transparent with that. I probably made annually, I think like 68, I think. Now, there's a caveat. I worked the 48-96 schedule. So I would work 2 days on a straight 48-hour shifts and then have 4 days off. 96 hours. And I didn't mind it. I enjoyed, I didn't mind the 48. I was not always busy, depending on what station you were at. You got to sleep, you got a bunk room. But yeah, there were shifts where you did not get a lot of sleep. But then there were some shifts where you didn't do much at all. I remember a shift where it was a 48, and I think I spent 2 of the 48 hours like working. We had one call and we didn't even transport. It was a refusal. So for like 46 hours, I either slept or sat on a recliner and watched TV or played video games or something. That makes time go by slower on shift, but yeah, it was pretty chill. And then you get the 4 days off, which I liked. And it seemed like I had a lot of free time because I had the 4 days off, like each week, I guess, kind of. But annually, like in the grand scheme of things, I was working a lot of hours and a lot of overtime. I did the math. I think like to make what I'm making now as a nurse, I had to work like an additional, it was over 1,000, an additional 1,000+ hours as a medic to make what I'm making now as a nurse. But again, like I didn't really perceive it that way when I was working 2 on 4 off. I didn't, like, yeah, I was busy with work, but like it just didn't really seem like it, I guess. Um, and again, I guess the other option was working 24 on and having 72 off, 3 days off, but you are not getting nearly as much money. A big part of the reason that I worked the 48s, not only because I made a lot more money doing it that way, but I worked rural. I drove like an hour and 45 minutes to work, which might sound crazy, but I figured if I was only driving out there every fourth or fifth day, like it was kind of the same. I don't know the math off the top of my head, but I mean, if you were to commute 5 days a week for like a 9 to 5 job, commute like 20 or 25 minutes, back and forth, I'm like, whatever, like it's not that, big of a deal, I guess. And I kind of like driving around. An hour and 45 minutes might seem like a lot, but I also went to paramedic school 2 hours away, which was every other like Wednesday or something. So I was always used to kind of driving a long route. So yeah, that's pay. I obviously there's better paying medic jobs. I know where I lived, there was an urban like county job that they're a very good department and they paid well. I know like starting their 4th year, you were making close to 6 figures or around there, which is like pretty high for a paramedic position. A fire medic is a little bit different, which I can talk about later. I wasn't a fire medic, but depending on the department you're at, you can really land yourself a pretty good gig. But again, you're still going to be working a lot of hours, even if you're making that sort of money as a medic. Just keep that in mind. And then you got like holidays and all that stuff that you're going to have to work. Or that's with any healthcare, but still. So yeah, there's that. There's the pay. There's, which I guess is one of the cons, kind of. But again, I wasn't completely sure what I wanted to do, but I cannot complain. I was very passionate about being a medic. Yeah, looking back on it now, compared to nursing, I don't get me wrong. I do enjoy nursing. I love helping people. Healthcare. I've been working in healthcare for, I don't know, 7 years maybe, I guess. 6 or 7. But there's something about being a medic that it's just different. Like it's not the same as working in a hospital where you have everything. And medics know this. That's why Paragod syndrome exists. You think you can do everything, which maybe I should make a video on that for another day. Paragod syndrome and your ego and why that's important to kind of keep under control. Otherwise, you're going to end up hurting some people, making some poor choices, or just pissing off some coworkers. So yeah, I feel like I kind of rambled on a little bit, but hopefully you guys can take a little bit away from that. This is my 3rd video like and subscribe. But I'll try and make more content. As you can see, I changed the name of the channel. I'm probably going to start talking about a lot of different topics related to healthcare, science, a number of things. It's not that I don't want to talk about medic stuff. I'm actually, funny enough, this upcoming fall, I'm going to be taking I'm going to do the critical care class for my medic certification, because technically I don't have enough experience as a nurse to do CCRN, because I think you need like 2 years of nursing experience to even like be eligible to take the test, maybe. But in the event that I wanted to try and do flight, you gotta have the critical care certifications. And again, I just love learning, so I figured I'd put myself into a critical care class. I never got around to it. I was trying to find, I wanted to do it. I have the book. I've been reading the book on and off for a while now. But I couldn't really find a program that was available at the time. Or like I was going to do the Creighton one like 2 years ago, but that ended up getting canceled and whatever. So I'm still going to be talking about medic stuff too. So if you're here for medic stuff, I'm still going to talk about it. It's just, don't be surprised if you start seeing content about a number of different topics. So we'll leave it at that. Thank you guys for watching. I hope this sheds some light on medic stuff, becoming a medic. If you have any questions, put them in the comment section. And once again, please like and subscribe.